Hey everyone, and welcome. And we are working on our holiday first aid or holiday survival kit for empaths and sensitives. And this particular piece, I want to talk about something a little more difficult, which is what to do if you're alone during the holidays or if you feel disconnected, from others or from the situation. And I think there's a lot of people who are alone. You know, I have a parent who's in a retirement home, and I go there all the time. Well, not all the time, but lots and lots of times. And I'm always kind of surprised at the level of, even though there's a great emphasis on creating community, but as people get older, they tend to not want to engage, or they get really habitual and they tend to isolate a lot. So there's lots and lots of people as you're driving by your own retirement centers, like lots and lots of people are on their own in those places. And then as you are going past maybe a hospital, I was recently in hospitals for elder parent, and there's people just in their rooms by themselves for hours and hours. Nobody's really checking on them, or they checked on from time to time. Again, isolated. And then as you drive by, depending on where you live, I live in a urban area, so I see like apartment after apartment just filled with people, and they're just all in their apartments, and they're probably online, and they're probably alone. And I just think if you just start to sort of go through in your mind, like, where do people live? Where are they spending their time? And you realize this vast loneliness issue that we have. Now, there's one thing about the holidays, which is you can be alone during the holiday and having a fabulous time, or you can be surrounded by people and feel very lonely because of that. So it's really good to, I find, as a sensitive empath, psychic person, just like you guys are, to really have an understanding of the collective energy that we experience as we go through the ramping up of expectation to this event that some of us are going to participate in, others of us might not, but we are all going to feel like this ramping up, and then the disappointment that comes after. What we're doing is waiting on magic, and magic may or may not happen on the holiday days as we were promised from being kids. So in some ways, what we are battling is this entire propaganda, or this entire myth we were given, that at this certain day it's going to be magical, all your dreams are going to come true, all the connection that you ever dreamed of is going to be there. You're going to get presents, maybe there's going to be sweets to eat. Magic is going to happen. We're all waiting and waiting and waiting for the magic. And then the event is over. We're faced with the bleakness of a new year. It's like, well, that wasn't what I thought. So what you might do, instead of tracking on this myth of there's going to be magic on this day, is understand that this is a story that you were given. And in reality, it's actually better than that. In reality, like, the universe doesn't put things on hold until, in some cultures, December 24th or 25th, or whatever day you're having as your magical day, December 20th for solstice, or other days in different traditions. these are not magical because for some specific reason. And so what you might want to do is just consider this idea that every day is filled with the same possibility, and that every day offers you the same chance or opportunity to engage with the universe and engage with each other in an authentic way. I think when you take your expectation down from it's all going to happen on this one day, and you let yourself realize like life, gosh, and not just this lifetime, but all the lifetimes we have, lifetime after lifetime, we can only experience the now in the now. And just taking your expectations down, and that really allows you to breathe. It allows you to not put all your eggs in this one basket of happiness. It allows you to detach from the collective ramping up and the stress associated with that. And it allows you to sort of go outside the norm and do some other things that you think might be enjoyable. So now is a great time to do things for yourself that have nothing to do with the holidays. I like to do dancing, as a lot of you guys know, so I'll use this time to go to more of those kinds of events than I might otherwise during the year, because it's a way of detaching from the group energy of ramping up to the one day, and also having enjoyment in the day I'm in. And I notice that as I choose non-traditional things to do, I notice those around me are also detached from this collective ramping up. They're like, hey, we're here. This is a good day. So you might just consider letting go of the myth that this one day is going to be magic and all the other days are not as good. All the days are good. And this may help even out that usual disappointed drop off that happens after the holidays. The other thing you might consider is, for some of you, really looking at how maybe you are pretty stabilized, you figured out how to deal with your introverted, empathic way of being in the world, and how to deal with the energy that's all coming in all the time. And you might just look around at those who are truly lonely for a variety of reasons, or who don't feel, who have not yet made that step up to wholeness, or maybe who've had a lot of trauma and issue. And you may just, I'm not necessarily saying you go volunteer, or some of you might like that, but I tend to think that the intuitive introverts have a little more trouble with that. But what you might want to do is just allow yourself to show up in your life as open to being a compassionate, hopeful space for someone who's suffering. It doesn't mean you're going to take their suffering on. It doesn't mean you're going to fix their problems. It just means that when they show up into your awareness, into your environment, you're going to respond to them like very authentically, with a great deal of openness. You're going to have patience with them. Any kind of weird prejudice you're going to have about their age or dress or race or gender, it's just like all that, no, none of that's there. You're going to be like, we're both souls. And you're just going to like be really open with this person. And I found that when you show people that level of respect, I see you as a person. I accept I'm completely flawed, and I'm still showing up to life. I see you as a person. and you show them that type of respect and, again, this openness, it can really change people's experiences of the world. And again, if you're able to go in and spend some time, playing cards with an older person or talking to them or go visit in a hospital, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But for the empath, it may be too much, too much coming in to allow you to do that. And so if you can't do that, then showing up to be of service as allowing your personality to be of service by moving your personality aside and just being completely authentic with who shows up to you. And that's kind of the magic, isn't it, really? Because what people really want is this level of connection. That's what they all want. That's what we all want. I am going to sign off for today, but hopefully these survival guide for empaths during the holidays have helped you out and given you some new ways of looking at things. Everything's spiritual, right? Whether you're doing spiritual practice or you're not, it's all spiritual. There's a level of way you can get through your life, mind, ego, personality, and just go from that linear, rational, competitive, separated view. Or you can jump up to a different level where it's soul-based and it's spiritual and there is no separation. And when you apply these challenging situations, such as a holiday, such as family trauma, such as your past trauma, such as a feeling the collective vibe, and it's very chaotic at the moment. When you apply that level of your soul self, it's all spiritual. There is not a part that's not. So just thinking of it that way. Alrighty, everybody, thank you, and I will be with you next time. You can find me at sarawiseman.com.